Hello, I'm Shadow Tiger, and note, guess what guys, you're going to be so excited. Now, hopefully, Tigerverse should be finished by the end of the year. I'm halfway through recording it. Isn't that just perfect? Anyway, today's video, I'm going to be drawing Pokemon that have trade evos as Pokemon without trade evos. And I know Roxton and Noggin has done it before, but that was for TV-rated JRPG, and JRPGs is a bit different than Pokemon. So I'm going to make the Pokemon more Pokemon-y. And before all of you lose your attention, just let's get into the video. So this is the first trade evo I'm going to be redesigning. It's the trade evo for Machamp. So, no, not Machamp, Machop. Sorry, I started by tracing the design, which, funnily enough, I don't want to just make it look like a copy-paste of, the original, so I kind of just removed it, then drew some concept art on top of the regular thing, and thought, what if I put it, well, in its Emerald Dex it says its skin is as tough as steel. So if I just embraced that and turned it into a steel type. So I drew out a little rough helmet with the same head patterns. Another thing that I needed to remember was to not give it forearms, because that's a trait that it gets from Graveler, and also keep its face, because obviously Graveler or Golem gets the traits from Machamp when you trade them. You can see I tried to readjust the pose. Still don't really like the pose, but I like the drawing itself. I quickly messed around with it, and then I did put some shadows on it. So after I put in a glove on it, you're going to see me putting some shadows. I majorly inspired it off like Greek, Roman, gladiatorial outfits. Well, now my drawing's done, you're going to see the Pokedex entry. Here is Machitis, the steel fighting type, with the abilities Guts and Battle Armor. The Pokedex entry reads, it is strong enough to knock out a storm of Tauruses, only using its fist. They are often watched fighting for sport. Anyway, so some quick design notes before we go on to, I think it's Graveler's redesign. 1. Machitis comes from fighter in Greek, funnily enough. And second part is that I'm still not really happy with the finished concept design for Machitis. I wish I could redo the pose and so on. And it would have been nice if I did some drafts before I just chopped into the actual thing. But I think it's time you see my Graveler redesign, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. Golem. The absolute abomination of a Pokemon. And I'm not holding back when I say it's an absolute abomination on the Pokemon world. This is the most controversial take I've ever had, but I think Golem is the worst, one of the worst ever. So I tried to design upon that, but it's very hard. I noticed this funky thing, so I was thinking of making like a grass rock type, but it didn't really fit my feeling for the other lot. So what it was going to be was like an Aztec guy, like grass crown, that sort of stuff. But instead I decided no, that's actually based off the yokai, which you'll see me look at in a minute. So Graveler is actually based on a yokai. Did not know that. Thought it was just based off like avalanches or rock slips. So there I go. I also remembered to give it 4 hands and make sure to not make it look like a lizard, because those are all traits Golem has or doesn't have in the arms case, because for some reason they traded their... Oh, yeah, there we go. I looked in Golem's Pokedex entries and I found... there you go. Tashuki Korobi. That's kind of what I based the entire design from that point. I don't like I don't like this. I don't. That's honestly my thorough opinion. This design is probably one of the worst, as this mouth I don't think I could get right. I didn't want to remove it because the mouth was such a key aspect of the original, so I just kind of went for that, and I'm still not happy with it. I would do anything to redesign it. No, it's fine really. So then I added in the colour, and then after adding in the colour I did in the shading. Shading takes forever though, because sometimes I do like Pokemon style swoopy line around, fill it in, refill it in the top half. So yeah, doing the highlights. So okay, you're gonna now see the Pokedex entry. Here we go. Meet Growl, the dark rock type. Growl likes to roll over unsuspecting passers-by, especially easy prey. They do this to use less energy, which they could use to defend themselves. Their abilities is Intimidate and Roll In. If the Pokemon has fainted and the current Pokemon has HP in the red, Growl will switch in, along the way damaging the opponent. Quick design notes. I really dislike Growl because it basically just looks like a copy-paste of Graveler. Shiny makes him look like Shrek. Literally. Yeah, that's about it. I just don't really like Growl. Maybe someone else likes it other than me. I'm trying to fill up time because I've got like another thing. I don't think Dark Rock goes well with it, but whatever. Next design. Look, it's Carablast, and this time I bring concepts. Okay, so Carablast is based off, I think it's some sort of beetle, obviously, and it's based off the Bombardier beetle. The Pokédex says it can spew poison, so I kind of went for that. Also basing it off American General Bombers, as this Pokemon is in whichever one was based off New York City. So I tried to add the kind of stripes it has on it, but I couldn't get the eyes to sit right, so I put the thing below the stripes, designed the rest of the design around it, realised that top area was a big blank empty space, and I couldn't decide what to do with it, so I started by doing all the colouring. Boom. Didn't know how to resolve the design issue with the top part, but I think I did eventually. I actually added some patterns inspired by that hat on the military guy. So eventually I sorted it out. It wasn't that much of a problem by adding eye patterns around the eyes. And I think I didn't keep that big blue part, but I could be wrong. So quickly enjoy this music before you look at this Pokédex entry. Bombardier, the bug poison type, the explosion Pokemon. This Pokemon likes to hunt Shelmet and its evolutions, but the shell never remains as the acid destroys it. It has poison skin. If you're in contact with this Pokemon, you have a chance of being poisoned. Stat bomb upon fainting. Any status moves gets applied to the opponent, or explode when HP in red. After 2 turns will blow up. Quick design notes. This is probably my favourite Pokemon. I love him, especially the detail in the top ring around his horns thing. Sorry, it looks like it's got a bit of depth around it, which is probably my favourite part. And then to another design, which I think could have been designed better and took me so much time to get right. Yes, I'm talking about the counterpart to Carablast, Shelmet, and we're gonna be together for a whole long time, because this was absolute pain to put together. I tried to get the head shape to work, the little crown that Excavalier has. Tried to put that on the thing, it didn't work at all. So waited a second, tried to cut the tail, etc. Tried to make it look like I wanted it to be based off the idea that clams close their shells to hide stuff. So it was basically going to be a clam who has hid its stuff and was kind of a closed shell. So I did that. See, it kind of looked like a submarine, so it would have been funny if I made it I think it is a water type. No, it might not be though. I made it, well, I kind of drew it like that. Gave it a place for the lance to go out of, which I'm not a fan of the lance, but if it kind of fits if it kind of makes sense, then I will. Gave it shell colours. Made holes in the back of the shell from Carablast, which is probably my favourite part. Then stuck one out of it because I wanted the Pokemon to have a face. I didn't want it to just be that. We just tried to redesign the mouth, tried to make I think I made the mouth a tiny bit smaller. Or I didn't. Let's look at the Pokédex page, shall we? Armance, the bug steel type. After constant Carablast attacks, this Pokemon retreats into its shell using one of the Carablast made holes as a spot to shoot on its oncoming foes, with the ability Shell Armor. Guess what? I actually don't like the hole in its back. That's the only bad thing, except without the hole in the back it doesn't look that Pokemon-y, so I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, next design, yeah? Funnily enough, I didn't know this Pokemon was a trade Evo until I was researching for this video. I don't know why. Hauntley, Ghastly, and Big Boy, I don't know what his name is, are all trade Evos, but I was able to do something at least. Just make a bigger, more scary first Evo design, which was honestly my only thoughts when it came to this guy. And I forgot to do the shading, so I had to do this in a separate video. You may have not noticed that though, so yeah, now I've been and pointed it out. I hope you enjoy that. Pokédex. Fantine, the ghost type. This Pokemon hides in trees and other such locations, hunting humans for sports. With the abilities Phantom Tongue, every time there's a 10% chance that the opponent gets poisoned, or Life Siphon. Over time this ability works as a leech seed and slowly siphons from 10 HP to 50 HP every turn. I like this design, not much else to say. Next one. Help me with this one. Actually, this was completely pain. I tried doing this design 3 times. All 3 different videos. All 3 taking up to an hour to record. So this one, all of them I tried to do some sort of like Gandalf type thing. I got nowhere close. And it was so painful. Abra was the pain of my existence at the moment, and that damn big old spoon. I need to fix that spoon in this design. Added the hand round it, coloured it in to see if it looked good. Did look good. Stretched it out all sorts. Gave him the rest of his hand. Then I realised, oh, what if he's like a floating wizard guy? Couldn't draw his feet, so I just resorted to hiding them. Gave him his tail. I found a way to put in his feet, which was a bit of. So then I tried to do a bit of colouring. This is where something called silhouette issues come in, where I realised the centre looks kind of ugly without any colours in it. So I tried to add bacon stripes there, whatever he has on his original design. Instead just removed it and tried to make him have like meditation pose under there by Mega Alakazam. Mega Alakazam is probably the best Alakazam's design, because of course it is. Then I tried to make like a top hat, but every time it didn't look too noticeable. Carried on trying. Oh yeah, bent the spoon because he's bent off, based off spoon benders. Then drew a hat I was happy with, and made a Pokédex entry. Here we go. Voila, the Psychic type Pokemon. This Pokemon is very intelligent and its abilities have transcended its mind and into the physical world. Its abilities are Inner Focus and Psy Spoon. This will mean any physical moves will do 25% less damage than regular. So Voila was literally the only good name I could think of. Yeah, that is literally it. I couldn't think of any other good names. Next design. Boldor this time. If I told you Voila was a hard design, if Voila is such a good name to say, Voila was such a hard design, if I told you he was hard, then look at this thing. I know this recording of this guy is short, but it was painful. It was a painful short time, because I didn't want him to look too much more like Boldor. I didn't want to make him look too different, if you get what I mean. So I decided to make him less of a tripod, give him spikes everywhere. That big rod on his head is supposed to be like an electricity thing, so I thought it could be maybe like an electric rock type. At the end, I didn't think it should be an electric rock type. I don't know what typing I made it at the end, and it looks so... it looks like just a bigger Boldor with a crystal head. That's it. There's like nothing unique about this Boldor, and that really annoys me. Pokedex entry time. Boldeast, the Rock Dark type. This Pokemon often likes to stand around in lightning storms to get struck, giving this Pokemon the ability to learn any electric type moves. His ability is Sturdy and Energize. Energize at the start of his first turn and gets a speed boost if the enemy is Electric, Dragon or Psychic type. Can learn electric type moves, so you know. Except from I don't like this design, there's nothing else. Next design. I don't know what to say about Conkeldurr's redesign. Or design, new design. This is a reason why I hate this Pokemon. This one in specific, little clown face here. He is just not a good looking Pokemon. Even making him in like construction gear didn't make him look better. So if that couldn't have fixed him, don't know what could have. I don't actually have anything to say about this design except try to make him look like a construction worker. Didn't make him look like a construction worker because obviously. So I tried to fix that helmet and it didn't work. Are you ready? I'm about to start over this design. Any second now. I know I did at some point in this short amount of time. Yeah, there we go. Kind of looks like that one Muppet guy. I think his name's like Animal. Yeah. I tried to make him look a bit more like Conkeldurr, but less Conkeldurry. Gave him vein moustache. I don't know if I kept that. He kind of looks like a mafia mob boss, but the holding building supplies, he's kind of strong. For some reason I gave him like a chain gun, but I don't know why. He's got a utility belt and just bulged out around the sides, gave him feet. Disliking this design is much easier than liking it. There is like no way to like Conkeldurr, Bonkeldurr or Donkeldurr or whatever their evolution name is. Time to look at this one's Pokemon thing because it's an evolution. I'll try to do a good transition next. Manadurr, the rock fighting type. This Pokemon likes to take control of any building projects nearby. I like how it would have the ability Intimidate. And a new ability called Utility Belt. Meaning it could just whip out any move it wanted. I don't know. Worst design? Possibly. Don't know. Next design is my favourite design. Yes. Phantump is the best Pokemon ever. Prove me otherwise. You can't. So I went, starting off the design, tried to put like the top half of a dead top half of a tree, like no leaves, barely any leaves. That's kind of the thing. So I made him angry, gave him little hand, little stick staff, which I liked. Gave him some sort of body plate made out of wood, all sorts. Gave him some moss around the top because I could, and then made him his bottom half. He was like holding a stick with his wispy tail, and this boy is the best. The only thing I kind of don't like about it is how the leaves and the moss look so similar. But maybe that's just a me problem. But yeah, it's the best. I'm just look at me shading it. Yeah. Shamrock, the grass ghost type. The spirit of a lost child who has inhabited a stump. The tree has slowly grown and left Shamrock. Use various parts to craft armour. The abilities are sturdy and branch tail. Branch tail. The ability is the tail is used as it is used magically to slowly deal 5 to 10 HP every turn. Don't know how competitive that would be. Next design, I like this one as well. Yay! Pumpkaboo, which is a good design. There isn't much to say. I fumbled with this design because it's based off a cat, and I wanted to make it based off a cat. You know, if you know. Let us leave the design to go in the background while I talk about how hard it is to come up with some sort of conversation during this time, because I don't want to just leave you to watch this while the music's playing in the background, because then it'll kind of get boring. I mean, obviously you'll probably not mind if I do that, but it would be a bit more boring if I did, if you get what I mean. So that's why I'm doing this. Yeah. Oh look, the design's ready. See you when it's shaded. Bye. Squashy Cat, the ghost grass type. This Pokemon likes to act scared and alone, but then unleash its true form and consume the victim. All who try to record this form has never been seen again. Its ability is Fur Coat and False Trust. If the opponent has a low friendship level, then it won't be damaged. Modifier for every friendship level, of course. What I like about it is that it's cute and it's a little squishy baby little cat. Squashy Cat, yeah, next design. Did you know Feebas is bad? Like, I know my Lotic looks pretty good, but it doesn't fit Feebas' style thing. So if I designed it to not be a trade Evo, it would look a lot less like my Lotic. Milotic, whatever. Milotic is a good design, but it would deserve a better pre-Evo than Disgusting Fish, who has weird patterns and terrible colouring. Obviously I need to respect this colouring in this design because it's based off a large mouth. I mean, it probably has a large mouth. Anyway, I went for it to be based off a whale, its evolution. I know that's kind of a dramatic shift, but I wanted it to be like God of War, Magikarp, so that's what kind of it is to my Lotic though. So, oh wow, okay. I tried to make it look more like a whale though, because I like the idea of tiny little Feebas turning into a big whale boy, being able to crush everyone who goes near it. That is probably infeasible. Teared up his what do you call it? At some point. Then shaded him in. Wasn't the hardest thing I ever had to do, because shading is actually pretty easy. Did a bit of shading, a bit more shading. Pokedex. Feebas, the water flying type. After evolving, Feebas gains the ability to lift off the water surface to make travel easier. And it's because of these evolutions that Feebas and Fleabas are likened to water pests, likened to Rattata and Pidgey. Its ability is levitate, water absorb, and emergency exit. I don't like the shiny colours, that's about it. Next guy, final guy, yay. Trade Evos, same file. Final thing, Dusclops. I referenced the Pokemon earlier, so I actually wanted to do it about how it's in its Emerald Dex. It says its body is hollow and there's like a fireball inside of it. So that's what I was going to base it on. Don't know how I was going to get there. Random question: do any more drawing videos? Would you rather like me talking about the design more, or like me talking about not the design but more like the story behind the design, like the lore, if you will? Because yeah, just comment it down in the video if you get to this point. Anyway, did his pose, tried to get his foot looking a bit further back, you know. Made his hair, I struggled with whatever that thing was on top of his head. Turned it into a fire. Matched with his blue foot flare ball that I was making. Tried many different styles to get that to work. Ended up with that, which I think looks pretty cool. Coloured it in, gave him all his bandage wraps. Coloured in behind his mouth, coloured in his eyes as well. Coloured in his hands. Coloured in the flame at the top, coloured everything in, and then I think I started, did I give it a tail in the end? I don't think so. Yeah, I gave it a bit of shading, like that, which was probably the easiest time I had shading ever. Did a bit of shading around the hands to make it look more like 3D hands, and then Pokedex. Flare Noir, the Fire Ghost type. This Pokemon likes to silently wait in dark alleyways until something sees their light. Then they will lead the thing into their mouth. Their abilities is Pressure and Guiding Light. Guiding Light in battles, its opponents lose attack, whereas its teammates gain attack. Yes, I do like this. The shiny looks good. Regular design looks good. All around, this is just a nice, solid Pokemon design. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, like, leave a comment to see if you want more videos like this. Drawing things in different styles, Pokemon, anime, whatever, in different styles. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, Tigerverse coming out by the end of the year. Goodbye and have fun. See you later.